Welcome everyone and thank you so much for joining in. So before we jump into this content, before we talk about this very interesting scenario which is being flashed right now here in price action of Bitcoin, I just want you guys to destroy that like button, and for those individuals watching this for the first time, come on, hit that subscribe button and the bell. So looking at this price action of Bitcoin starting here in a daily time frame using this central pivot range indicator, a leading indicator which is giving us information beforehand, the price of Bitcoin does not look that good. Why? Because we have failed to find support above this previous month CPI line which was sitting around 29,000, and we have also failed to form an ascending CPR. On my previous video I made it very clear, during an uptrend like this, price always forms an ascending CPR, ladder type of CPR, which also indicates the price is preparing itself for a new impulsive movement. But when we fail to form an ascending CPR, when the price closes below the monthly CPR line, that usually indicates, hey, the upcoming days, upcoming month could be bearish. But as soon as the CPR line starts jumping above the previous one, or starts forming an ascending CPR, price after that shows an impulsive movement. But when we fail, what happened? You can see descending CPR always resulted in a downtrend. Yes, and this is exactly what is being flashed right now. Until this month of February 2023, you can see the price of Bitcoin was clearly in a downtrend, and this CPR was also forming a descending CPR. But when we started to form an ascending CPR for this month of February 2023, higher than the previous one, we also started to form a higher highs, higher lows continuation pattern type of scenario where the price started to show impulsiveness. The CPR line also started to form an ascending CPR. But if we look at this one from the month of June, things are looking different. The price of Bitcoin has closed the month below the previous CPR line, the May month CPR, which was around 29,000, and this here is a descending CPR. Now we have to be extremely careful because the price in the medium short term might show some bullishness again between this 27,800 to 27,400, but please be careful. This here could be a relief rally before price gets attracted towards the first target for this month of June according to this leading indicator, which is sitting around, let me add that here, the monthly S1 line, the first support target line, and also the first resistance line for the month of June. So you can see this red dot is the first monthly S1 line which is going to remain until the 30th of June, and this green dot is going to remain until the 30th of June as well. So this green line, which is sitting around 29,400, is going to be our first target for this month of June. But since the price is below the CPI line, we should focus more on this red line or the S1 line, which is sitting around 25,400 range. Yes guys, this 25,400 might be retested after some range bound like this, right, before deciding an actual trend direction. But please be careful. If this here is a sign that the market has given up, market has ended this impulsiveness, then please be careful because this June month could be the beginning of a new downtrend. The upcoming CPI lines, upcoming months could look somehow like this, price forming a lower highs, lower lows continuation pattern, and even the CPI line forming an descending CPR. So please guys, please be careful because the price has already failed to find support above this previous high, and also is below the June month CPR line, and this should be taken into consideration because getting attracted towards this lower trend line means the price in a bigger picture in a weekly time frame could be coming back to test the support from this horizontal trend line or the support from this 30-week exponential moving average, which is sitting around 25,000, right? And this horizontal trend line is also sitting around 25,000 range. So that's why we said 25,000 might be retested before we decide a trend duration. So in our case, in a bigger picture, you can see this ideal buy for investor also makes sense, and even the weakness what we can see here makes a lot of sense. I mean, price getting attracted towards the monthly S1 line before deciding the trend duration. And not just only that, even if we look at this in a very simple way, I think I talked about this yesterday. According to this descending channel, the upper line here was a very strong line of resistance. We came exactly at the same line, we got rejected. Tried one more time, we got rejected. Now, if this here is a rejection around 29,000 and price is going to see a very similar movement just like here from the past price action, then we have to be extremely careful, because the price in our case has already lost the support from this rising trend line, and in the past price action we found out losing the support from this rising trend line has led to a corrective movement like this. And this is exactly right, this is exactly what we want to avoid, another continuation to form a new lower low. So that's why, guys, that's why in the medium short term, in the upcoming days, the price of Bitcoin is not allowed to close below 25,000 range. Yes, because closing below 25,000 means we are clearly invalidating this support from the 200 weekly moving average. Yes, this 200 weekly moving average is one of the most important line of support and resistance. But in our case, since the price of Bitcoin is above it, we are saying that this is still looked as a support line. Yes, guys, the price of Bitcoin could still continue this uptrend after testing the support around 26,000 to 25,000 range. So that's why in a weekly time frame, I'm still going to remain neutral, guys. I'm not bearish, I'm not bullish. I'm going to remain neutral because the price is still above some of the key line of support which we have in a bigger frame, 25,000 to 26,000. And even if we do see any sort of a reversal here, right, price coming back to test this 25,000, that could be a retrace from this inverse head and shoulder, which we have already talked plenty of time in my video. Left shoulder, head, and right shoulder before continuing this uptrend, and that will be looked as a retest around the neckline before deciding the trend duration. So as you can see, guys, we are not allowed to break below 26,000 at any cost. And if you look at this price structure in a bit different way, I mean using this Bollinger Band, the Bollinger Band squeeze might be happening starting this month, which might be indicating upcoming volatility. But we know for this volatility scenario to play out, we need more range bound inside this upper band and the lower band. So if we do see any sort of a shakeout, 26,000 will be acting as a support. That's also the area where our lower band is lying around, and here to the upside 27,800, and that's exactly where the CPI line is lying around. So you can see very clearly, guys, the price of Bitcoin has some very strong resistance around 27,800. So it's not going to be that easy to break out of it, right? And to the downside, 26,000 is a very strong support. So if we do see more of a range bound for the upcoming days between this range, we are more than happy to see that, because that could be signaling an incoming volatility which could favor both bulls and the bears. But we know if 25,000 support gets broken, then it's going to be favoring the shorts. But if we do somehow manage to break out of this upper trend line, price jumps above this CPI line, right, 27,800 range, find support above it, then in that case there might be one exception, guys. Yes, even during this massive uptrend, let me hide this S1 R1 line one more time, monthly R1 line, monthly S1 line. So if we simply look at this ascending CPR, right, this month here, September 2020, even though, right, this was clearly an ascending CPR, the September CPR faked out, right, gave us a wrong signal, but after that started forming an ascending CPR, also continued uptrend. So that's why if the price somehow managed to find proper support over 27,800, or let's say 28,000 for better confirmation, then we might also see an exception, just like with the previous example. So let's hope the price in a bigger frame comes across 28,000 in the upcoming days. And now, guys, now beside this Bollinger Band, beside this 200 weekly moving average, even beside this CPI lines, let's jump into this one very interesting scenario which is unfolding right now here in a daily time frame as well. I mean, if we look at the price action of Bitcoin in a very simple way, if we say that this price movement has already got rejected from the upper trend line from the descending channel, then please be careful, because the upper trend line was always a line of resistance, right? You can see upper trend line was always a line of resistance. Lower trend line acted as a strong line of support. So in our case, since the price got rejected exactly around this upper trend line, please be careful. What could be playing out here could be a scenario like this. Price showing range bound, again showing some impulsiveness, trying to break out of the 27,800 to 28,000 resistance line, the upper trend line from the descending channel, the resistance from the CPI line, right, which I showed you, and even the resistance from this Bollinger Band. Yes, the Bollinger Band upper band is also sitting exactly at 27,800 to 28,000 range. So that's why if we can see another breakout, price breaking out of it, then we know we are going to talk about an exception just like this one here from 2020 September month, where the price formed a decent CPI, but at the end still continued new impulsive movement. So that's exactly what we want to see as well. So that's why, guys, if we do see any sort of a breakout, if we do see price showing some bullishness, then we definitely want to break above this CPI lines. And now if you look at this continuation, I mean, if the price of Bitcoin is going to show further reversal here to the downside, then you can see the price in that case could be coming back to test one of the most important support line here in a daily time frame as well. I mean, this rising trend line, which is sitting around 25,000 range. Yes, this 25,000 might be retested, right? Price after some bullishness might be showing another continuation towards this lower trend line before deciding the trend direction. That's why I'm shouting on top of my lungs, wait until the price breaks below this 200 weekly moving average, 26,000 to 25,000 range, before looking for any opportunity, because until then the price might be in a very volatile stage, because we just found out the Bollinger Band might be signaling some upcoming volatility. So we have to be extremely careful, but doesn't matter in whichever trend duration it's going to break out, right? If it's a bearish continuation, then we also want to see price breaking this 25-26 support line. And if it's an impulsive continuation, then we want the price to break out of this upper trend line, or let's say 28,000 resistance for the upcoming days. If we do see that happening, then in that case we will be following this falling wedge scenario for Bitcoin. Yes, in an hourly time frame, in a smaller time frame, the price unfortunately lost the support from this 0.6 and 0.5 Fibonacci line. Yes, the golden pocket and the 0.5 Fibonacci line support got broken, which actually acted as support for the medium short term. You can see that very clearly. The price came at this 0.618, the golden pocket. We had a very nice relief rally, but got rejected exactly after reaching around this falling trend line from the descending broadening wedge, which is considered bullish. So in the medium short term, if we do see any sort of impulsiveness, then we definitely want the price to break out of this key line of resistance, which is around 27,000, right? This 27,000 line must be flipped into support. And if we do that, then just like what I showed you with the CPI indicator, there might be some relief rally. Price coming across or around the CPI line, central bottom and the top CPI line, which is around 27,800 to 28,000 range, before deciding the trend duration. And this bullishness after that could be also deciding the trend duration. Either it was just a fake out and price after that is going to show another continuation into the downside, or an actual trend continuation after that. So these were some of the quick update that I wanted to share with you in today's video. If you enjoyed my work, then please guys, please destroy that like button, and for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. Now by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye.